of first class seats available. So if you'd like a free upgrade, now's the time. Get you a first class seat. I love those free upgrades. I was traveling up until they made me stop for COVID, and it was awesome. I got upgraded to first class on every flight. There was nobody in the airport. It was amazing. I was like, why can't it be like this all the time? Why can't I keep traveling? All right. Well, we are excited to get kicked off this morning. Kicked off this morning, and welcome to everybody out there online. And I have the pleasure of introducing someone that hopefully you guys here in Treasure Island have gotten to know, because Ben is amazing with F&G. Anytime I have a question, an issue, anything, I text Ben, I call Ben. He is awesome at supporting us and helping us in our business, and just a great asset that we have. One of the things that Andy has done is aligned us with great companies and great people, and Ben is one of those great people. And he also has a 6-month-old little boy, so if you want to get him to smile, just ask him about that, and he has pictures and everything. So please help me welcome Ben Holmes from F&G.
Yeah, okay, so Gina knows how to give me the smile. I do, really proud of my 6-month-old boy, but we'll get kind of started off because I got 10 minutes, and I have a lot to kind of go over and talk about. But I just also want you guys to know that I woke up this morning, I saw my water bottle, and it says, I am not trash. And so that was good motivation for today. So I am not trash. So today I'm going to talk, obviously, you guys are winners. You guys are here for a reason. You guys know our product. I'll kind of go over a little high-level overview of that. But what I really wanted to kind of go over was a lot of transitions, a lot of things that are happening here at F&G. So back in May of 2020, we were actually acquired by a group called F&F, and they are Fidelity National Financial. I know the words of Fidelity, not the same thing. However, there's the owner by the name of Bill Foley, who's the majority shareholder of F&F, who's like the nation's largest title holder for homes. And so we were acquired by them. We still operate as a subsidiary. We are all by our own, and we work with them primarily because we are in massive growth mode. As Steve mentioned yesterday, we were up 59% year over year. From 2019, 2020, 2021. So we're doing really well. The problem is that we are growing, and we're growing really fast. And so we need capital to invest in our infrastructure. And, not obviously by buildings, but by people, by systems, by everything else that really matters. And so they give us a lot of the capital to help us grow in order for us to be able to afford to maintain the same level of expertise, the same level of service you guys need. We really pride ourselves on trying to get cases in and out as fast as possible. It was with that growth mode, it obviously took a toll with people, submitting so many applications that, we need to almost triple our case management size. So we've done that. We're updating our systems, we're updating everything in order for us to really, be able to fill your guys' needs. So that was a really good acquisition, I guess, really by us or by them. Another other thing that we do is we actually partner with a group called Blackstone. Blackstone is the nation's largest private equity firm. They own a lot of things, but the whole purpose for that is that they essentially manage our general assets. So annuities come in, life insurance premiums come in. All kind of goes into our general account. And so they are the ones that actually help us manage that. And what that really does for us is that gives us, they give us good options, low cost options, and good access to high yield debt. And the reason I say that is because people always ask, how is F&G able to hold a 13% cap? How are we able to partner with these guys and have these best products? It's because of our partnership with Blackstone. So they're a tremendous asset for us. We work very closely with them, and so it's a really good opportunity to really partner with those guys. So with all that being said, that's really how we are able to hold these 13% cap rates, the highest in the industry right now. So it's a really good product. It's a really good opportunity. So Also, just some new business highlights from last year. We were the #1 growth company for IUL, so that was really awesome. We have the #1 illustrated product on the market right now, so that's also awesome. And we were #3 in total overall IULs issued in 2020. So that was a really, really good sign too. You know, we want to be at the top. We want to be the top IUL carrier. IUL is all we do. So we want to be really good at it, right? Because if we don't, we're going to be out of business. You know, I want to tell you guys, you know, why sell F&G? You know, I know you guys are here for a reason. You guys love our product, you know, and really just want to separate and differentiate us from other IUL carriers. The first and foremost thing, you know, why sell F&G IUL is that we obviously have the highest caps in the industry, but we're a very transparent company. We don't do anything inside of that product that you guys don't understand, so the clients don't understand. Everything we do is literally, we do it well because we have these high caps. What the customer sees is what they get, right? We're not going to do anything with, you know, these multipliers, these like crazy persistency bonuses inside the product. It's a very transparent product. That's who we are. We're a very transparent company. You know, we'll be honest with you, you be honest with us, and we're going to be rocking and rolling, right? Number two, really, I'm going to say is actually something that's kind of weird, but I think it's literally the best feature about us, is that we also have a contractually guaranteed 5% on our variable loans. So we contractually guarantee that we will never charge your clients more than 5% to take the money out. So right now it's 3.11%. If you look at where we're going to be at in 20, 30, 40 years from now with interest rates, right? We're at an all-time low still with interest rates, and that's been happening for the last almost 10 years. Interest rates have to go up at some point. When you go and borrow or buy a car, buy a house, whatever it is, I mean, you're probably going to get charged more than 5% at some point, right? We can contractually guarantee that we will never charge you guys more than 5% and take the money out. And that, I think, is the biggest feature of F&G by far. You know, we can talk caps, we can talk everything else. That 5%, though, is the biggest thing in the world to me. There are so many insurance carriers out there right now that are charging more than 5% currently. You know, they have their guarantees or their caps that they're what they charge up to 12%, 13%. To have that guarantee at 5% is really incredible. Third reason is going to be the Barclays. We partner with Barclays, as most of you guys know. The Barclays Trailblazer Sectors 5. It's the longest name of the index, I feel like, in history. You know, we offer that 145% par rate with the 1% bonus kicking in year 2. And in 2019, it won Index of the Year with F&G. We have it on our annuities and our life insurance products. And this index is a proprietary index, so you can't go out and buy it in the marketplace. It's only offered through F&G. So at that point in 2019, if you had a policy with F&G with that 145 par rate and that 1% bonus, it was at 24%. Where are you guys going to go get a 24% return on a fixed product, right? So, you know, having that cap, having that floor at 0, well, with the Barclays, it would be a 1.25% index as a floor. Now you're saying you can also get, 24.5%. It's incredible. So it's a really, really good opportunity for that. The fourth reason I'm going to say too is our living benefits. You know, a lot of other companies pride themselves, I know NLG does as well, on their living benefits. We have the exact same ones. And good news, in the state of California, we are approved now for our chronic illness. So we have critical, chronic, and terminal illness built into all of our products. As long as you're table 4 or better, you guys are going to be able to have those products automatically built in. So you don't have to actually, elect those and pay for those up front. You get those automatically built in. If your clients don't like the way we charge on the back end from an actuarial standpoint, they don't have to use them, but they're there for them, right? And then the last thing I'd say is really our exam-free underwriting. COVID kind of helped us in a way, essentially kind of put really, I guess our hands are tied. How are we going to get you guys to be able to access clients and get to underwrite clients and get policies issued paid? You know, if we keep having to have an examiner come in and do labs and medical exams, right? So we did permanently now up to $1 million, 0 to 50 is 100% exam free. We don't even allow your clients to go and get a paramed exam. So it's a really, really good opportunity for that too, to get these things issued paid, to get you guys in and out faster. The nice thing about that too is about 87% of all of our business is within that $1 million range. And then I believe it's 90% of those cases are actually issued at standard or better. So we're still giving you guys the best risk classes with the best product without an exam. My time's already up, but what I do want to say is, we also are looking, and we are trying to get even faster. We want to do instant approval. We want to do things really, really quick. Those things are coming. Changes are coming. So, now is the right time to get in with F&G, get to know our process, get to know our product, and, we will go ahead and get those things done as fast as possible. Suresh.
My clients were asking why there is no preferred plus health plans category in F&G.
Because our underwriter says no. No, it's an actuary thing. We've looked at it. So we used to have standard and preferred. So we are looking at other options. Our preferred rates though beat everyone else's preferred rates. So it's kind of like you can say you are the top of the top of the top, but you can also just be the top and still have the best rate in the marketplace. That's kind of why we built our product for those underwriting risk classes. I will say too, also other things are changing. We're actually getting a new chief underwriter. Our chief underwriter is actually retiring. Barb Lutz, if anyone has worked with her. I am actually meeting our new one. Her name is Robin something. I'll tell you guys later. But her name is Robin. She's great. She's got like 30 years of underwriting experience. She's going to be our new chief underwriter coming up probably at the beginning of the year. So I'm meeting her actually within 2 weeks. So hopefully we're going to be able to have things change even for better. So maybe we will look at a super preferred risk class or preferred plus, whatever it is, and go from there. So also, again, I'm 2 minutes over. All right, cool. So what I will say too is, I just want to thank you guys for your business. I'll be at the event next week as well. If you guys are there, you guys can come talk to me. But I do want to thank you guys so much for your business. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here today. So appreciate that. Appreciate you guys' time. Thank you so much. I had a blast with you guys yesterday, and hopefully we'll have 3 minutes over. All right. And hopefully we'll have some good times here moving in the future. So thank you guys again so much for your business.
Appreciate it. That are sitting in this room that I get to associate with. So a lot of what I talk about in front of you guys is what I learned from them and what I learned from Andy. So credit to you guys. That's about the only nice thing I'm going to say about you today, Mike. So get over it. So I'm actually from North Carolina. I grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. Went to high school at Laney. That's where Michael Jordan went, so everybody knows it for that. And then the state champions, baby. Me and Mike won a state champion. We ain't gonna talk about that. Went to NC State from there, which we get to go see this weekend play Clemson, which is really exciting. Because Clemson's really good, and so is NC State. So, best university in the nation. So anyway, went to NC State for 4 years. Graduated from there. On my way out, I found a little girl by the name of Haley Albright. We started dating in 2014. I got a job out of college, so I think she really liked having a man with some money in town. Her dad was an hour away, so anytime he would come in, she always talks about this, she would save up the restaurant she knew I couldn't afford yet so that Andy could take her. And so it worked out really well for me because I got to save up some money to be able to take her to those places. But I went to work for a technical staffing firm right out of college, and they bait you in with a little salary, and then they give you a commission, which was great. I started making money after my first year that my parents had never made together, so everything was going really well. And I always tell people, because when I started coming around Andy, I didn't know anything about what they had until I think I came to my first convention. And then I was just like, what is going on here? Like, and I started talking with Andy more and more about the business. And I find it very interesting when I hear one of my friends talking to Andy and being transparent about how much they're making. Because I was doing that too, thinking, I was making bigwig money. And I was making a good money, but Andy was showing me and introducing me to people who were making unbelievable amounts of money. So In 2019, I decided to take the leap into the Alliance, and then we moved down here a year later, and everything's been going really well, and we're hitting new levels. I mean, right now the Alliance is growing like crazy, right? So when I'm talking to people, I'm like, this is one of the. I wasn't around in the past. I've only been here 2 years, but for me, this has been the most exciting time to be around the Alliance. I just see a lot of new growth happening, which is what we need, right? We need some new growth. We need more partners, right? So anyway, that's a little bit about me. So one of the perks of working with the Alliance is traveling, right? And I find traveling to be my favorite part of this business. And for those of you who don't know, when I first got into the business, I straight up asked Haley, I was like, how long do you think he's going to make me do this? I wanted no parts of this. I was like, dude, you want me to go out and sell, and you want me to recruit? I thought you said you didn't like work. I thought we were on the same page there, and now you're telling me to go to work, right? So, but ended up, I mean, it is the most fun I've had in business here by far. Getting to share it with friends and family. It's just really incredible. But going back to the topic of traveling. At least get. Yeah, I asked Haley, I said, this was back in January 2019. Yeah, I said, should I was like, what do you think? Like, do you think I should do this? And she said, I would be upset with you if you at least didn't give it a shot. And so, like, when she said that, I mean, think about the endorsement that is for her dad. Like, everything, when you have your wife and you're thinking about getting into business with her dad, like, all they think about usually is the tension, right? But she said, I'm going to be upset with you if you don't give it a shot. How many wives would have maybe talked their husband out of that? Like, I don't think you should. Family reunions will be really awkward. And like, we spend a lot of time with them, so that would have been bad. But yeah, good point. I'll add that to my repertoire there. All right, I got to go over some of this stuff. All right, so I was talking to you last night, and traveling is, the reason it's so fun is because I get to associate with people around the United States who have done this before me. And I'm a big believer in the CASE method, which is copy and steal everything. If it's working for you, I'm going to try it. So I appreciate you letting me know what's working. I'll do the same with you. But why, like, the question that pops into my head besides it being fun, is why do we travel? Why do you travel with the Alliance? And I think I look at this job as two different things, right? So one, if you want to just sell, I think you treat this like a sales job. But I think the nice thing is you have the chance to build a team, which is you building a business, which I think that's where the traveling really comes into play, right? So the first question that I would ask myself is, why would I travel with the Alliance? Because that's how you build relationships. It really is. We talk about that, and for me, this was probably July of 2019, maybe 2020. And I was sitting down, and we were down here in Florida. We were just visiting at the time. And I asked Andy, I said, I was like frustrated with the business. Nobody else gets frustrated with this business, I know. But I was frustrated, and I was like, dude, I just don't get how you built this business nationwide. I can't get those people over there to do anything. And he just, like, in the calmest manner, goes, well, Bo, I didn't do it from home. And I was just like, all right, gotcha. So I started, but like what he's saying is that he has a blueprint laid out. Like, Andy doesn't show you his travel schedule just so you're like, oh, Andy's working. He's showing you how to build your business. And you do that by going and seeing your team, right? You like, those relationships are crazy. And ever since I started traveling, really, I've done a lot of traveling this year. And it's been really good for me from a business standpoint. I always tell people, I don't know how this all worked, but like, this year has had its ups and downs for me, for sure, right? I mean, at the beginning of the year, I get hit with losing my dad. And like, a lot of people, what they do, And I might have, I don't know. Andy just didn't give me the option. But a lot of people, what they do is when they're going through tough times, they shut down, right? And I think that's the worst thing you can do because that's all that's on your mind. So you're just sitting there. It's like when you're when you're in a negative space, all you're thinking about is that, right? It's like your mind's consumed with that. So back in January of this year when that happened, Andy and me went on this crazy hunting trip, which I wish I could show y'all a lot of things about that, but I can't. And I got to do things with Andy that I've never done in my life, and it was amazing. And then we start traveling for business right after that. We spend 4 days at this amazing. I mean, I've never seen things like the inside of this resort, and so we went on a business trip right after that, and we just started traveling. And that's when my business, I noticed it started skyrocketing the most, because I was getting to know the team, and I think like relationships are what's going to build a dynasty. And I think that's why we have an incredible business here, because we got a culture as far as like everybody's got everybody's back, right? Which I'm gonna talk about a little later today. I don't want to get into all that, but I think that this is that it has to be clear to everybody that to build relationships, you can't do that behind a phone, right? And I get this question too. Like this was the second question I wrote down. Like, is it better? Like this is the obvious question. Is it better to do it in person or is it better to do it in Zoom? And so a lot of times when we're building our businesses, I don't even know if we think about traveling to go see those people and getting a group together in a certain city to go visit and hitting multiple states, right? But instead we get on a Zoom or we get on a phone call, and that's just not as impactful. And like, don't listen to it from me. Like I did a little bit of research. I went Jeff Bright on y'all, and so I was looking at some articles, and I just typed in the question: is it better in person or a Zoom? And so this is directly from Forbes. It says 85% of people say face-to-face meetings lead to stronger, more meaningful business relationships. One more. Harvard review, like these are pretty bad to the bone reviews. 95% of people say face-to-face meetings are necessary for long-lasting business relationships. So, I mean, like think about this. How many times have you been with somebody that maybe you've known for a little while, and you're at dinner with them, and you find out something you didn't know about them? That happens so often when I sit down with people that I've been talking to for 6 months, and then I go out and see them, and I find out things about them, their family. It's just such a different relationship. Like now they look at me like family. And when I'm in person, guys, I get to read their body language. I get to read the context of what they're saying. I mean, I really get to understand and know them from a personal standpoint, personality standpoint, so that I can better, I use that to my advantage to help me coach them or help me build a better relationship with them. So you just can't do those things over Zoom. I mean, I think we all admit it. Why would we not do business over Zoom if it was more effective than face-to-face? You know, it's the same way on the sales side. Like nobody's crazy successful, in my opinion, in the insurance world just doing phone sales. It's really hard to build rapport. It's even harder to build a business behind a phone, right? Because then you're trying to build a lasting relationship. So I thought this was a cool one too. It said people remember 10% of what they hear, 20% of what they read, and 80% of what they see. And it said Zoom nearly cuts those numbers in half. Isn't that insane? Because, like, how many times are you on a Zoom call? Why do you think when you're on a Zoom with Andy have your camera on and be smiling? Because then he knows that you're being attentive. Like, if I have someone on a Zoom call and they just have their little photo up, you know, they're over here maybe doing dishes or playing with the kids. They're not tuned in at all. When I'm in front of them, that's a whole different ballgame. So, like, let me put this into a different perspective outside of business. So let's say like, what if you got married to a woman or a man, and you had only ever seen them over Zoom? You didn't see them, you didn't meet them face to face until the day y'all were standing at that altar. Right? Do you think that that's going to last? I mean, let me just give you some proof. Anybody ever seen Married at First Sight? Yeah, I'm guilty. I watched that, all right? So married at first sight, how many of those work out? It's a very small percentage, right? Because, like, don't you think there's something that you're going to miss about that person over a Zoom? There's probably a lot of things. And I was debating on whether to give an example of this, and I knew, I was with Haley in person. I'm not going to give any examples because that could bite me in the tail if she's watching. But you find, like, we all got to admit, if your parents are like mine and Haley's, they're old school, right? They didn't let us live together until we got married. Not old school, sorry. But I did it. Did it again, Chris. So,
That's the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, thank you. It is right there. They're classy. That's the way to put it. So, I love you, man. Yeah. So we didn't live together, and we learned things about each other that we didn't know before we lived together, right? Because so it's like, just to kind of put that into a different perspective for you. How can you expect to build a meaningful business relationship if you don't interact with that person on a more personal basis? And it's never going to happen behind a Zoom or a phone call. I don't believe that, and maybe that's old school of me, but I think they're way more impactful. So anyway, if you guys, like, besides the fun and building relationships side of it, I just like when you guys start traveling, like, it's crazy to see you guys here, right? Like, you guys are at all these events, and it's not ever convenient for you guys to get to them, I imagine. Y'all are busy. Y'all own massive organizations, right? And it's not always nothing's convenient in this business, but it's how we go about building the business. And thank God for you guys laying out the blueprint for us newbies who are trying to pick this thing up and figure it out too. So appreciate all you guys. I get the pleasure of bringing up somebody who is one of my travel buddies. I love him a lot. Me and him do Bible study quite often when we're staying together. I like to ask him questions that I don't want to pick up the Bible and read it. I just want to ask Chris the answers to it. And he knows them. I don't know. Sometimes he could just be like way in left field with me and just like playing with me. And now I'm going to start telling y'all things about the Bible that aren't true, but I don't know. So if y'all will, put your hands together for Mr. Chris Hill.
Hey, Billy, I'm not sure what just happened to this, but it literally turned off. Oh, no, it's back. All right. So I feel like Brandon just told me he's cheating on, like, a Bible test. He's like, hey, I'm just going to look on your paper for a little bit. I guess you can still do that, but we do have a lot of those moments. It's normally at, like, 1 in the morning, and I'm trying to go to sleep. Hey, Chris, what does it say about this? Like, all right. Just to give you a little bit of a glimpse, because he's not going to tell you, but Brandon was a 24-year-old making over $150,000 a year. So that's, in North Carolina, that's a big deal at any age. And then at 24, and so then he took that and he said, all right, what Andy has created is bigger than a 24-year-old making $150,000 and owning a piece of, he had stock options in a company that actually still pays. So he had a really good thing going for him, but what he saw was bigger than what he had. And so he made a choice to depend on himself instead of what he already had, which is a big deal. And he's not going to tell you that. He's not going to let you know what he put to the side to go after it. And so then he's also, he takes that. I remember what happened. He leaves this behind, and in that month, y'all did like $80 in premium. And he's like, oh shoot. But then like 3 months later, they were up to 80. Now they're at $250,000, and that's 2 years ago. And so, and if I think it's easy. I always tell my wife, like, I'm here. If I could just see what it looks like on the other side, that would be great. But you just can't, And so Brandon was standing here, but what he could see is what Andy had already done and what a lot of you had already done. And he said, what they have is better than what I got, and I know that I can do it. So he took that leap and did that, which I think is very impressive. And at 24 years old, the money he was making in North Carolina, like where I grew up, if you're making like $100,000, you're a celebrity. You're like Osuna status. You know, it's a poor area where I grew up. I mean, it's like I'm running Reno. You know, so it's a very big deal. All right, I have a couple seconds to tell you about one of the advantages that we have with the Alliance. A lot of times when you see a group of people, they normally have one thing that they're great at. When you come to the Alliance, we've got like 5 different things that you can say it's the best in the industry. And what Robbie Kraft and Andy have put together in our ARC system is the most powerful insurance CRM that you will ever see. He took it to the guys in Integrity, and all of their really, really smart people were drooling over, because it's amazing how it works. And the reason is because Andy and Robbie understand y'all, and then Robbie has figured out how to talk to people that don't understand y'all. And it is funny to listen to, because he'll draw a picture, and it is like a sketched out picture, and they'll say, "That is very interesting." And then we got it. It is amazing. And so in the insurance industry, now I know we're leadership development, team building, and explosion, but in the insurance industry, it's one of the most amazing things, because you keep getting paid over and over again. So you've been with us since, you said, April, March. So in a year, you've got a whole list of clients that need more insurance and are waiting for you to call them, which is, it's amazing. Because if I go and if I buy a house, there's a length of time where that realtor's going to have to reach, or a car. There's a link, and the insurance is every single year they turn back over. So I have Joseph Duke's ARC in front of me. So I want to just run through real quick the advantages and the new stuff that Robbie's put out. So this is Joseph's ARC. So he has 2,890 clients. He's got a lot of clients. He is very good at sales. 2,890 clients. But here's the special part. He's got 300 things to do today because of his clients. Now look, I'm a lead guy. I sell you leads. I'm real big on leads. But he's got 300. He's got 66 people that need a policy review. That means there's 66 people that it has come up to their time of the year to where somebody needs to talk to them about their policy. So, Joseph, if you have 66 policy reviews, about how many apps does that normally equal in your world? 66 policy reviews. So at least 10. So there's another 10 grand in premium for just this week. That means what's 10 times 52? 520? So 520,000 in premium with that one tab, because he's in the insurance industry. Now, if he never looks at it, it's like a gym membership. I joined the gym 3 weeks. I just moved, so I joined the gym 3 weeks ago. But it's not my area. Well, I haven't been yet. And so they sent me a message. But I appreciate it. They sent me a message and said, I've got like 3 messages from them. Let's make your first experience great. They're like, this dude done signed up and he ain't even showed up. It ain't doing me no good. So if you don't show up to the gym, it ain't gonna do you any good. But if you do, it's right there. There's 25 conversions. That means there's people that are reaching near the age where you could take their term and convert it into a permanent product, regardless of their health, which is amazing. And that's another. So if you had 25 conversions, about how many apps is that? Another 10. So now we're up to, what is that, 1.4 million in premium for the year just this week because of what's right there. And then Medicare. So that's people like Big Mike. So we have 43. I love you, Big Mike. My grandpa. All right, so we have 43 people that are ready for Medicare. So that's people that we've all got into this Medicare. We have agents with us helping us. There's 43 people that need somebody to talk to them about that. All right, chargebacks. So there's 13 chargebacks. There's 13 people that have stopped paying. You know what happens when they stop paying? You stop getting paid. This lets you know, so you know to reach out to them. Because in the past, you were like, what the world are they taking money out for? And you have to go research it, and then you find it, and a year later, you're like, all right, I finally found who it is. And it's like, shoot. Or it tells you immediately, here's 13 people. Why do people normally stop paying? They get confused, or somebody else talks to them, change bank accounts. It's not that they don't want the insurance. They had you come to their house. But you have to know to call them. And then there's 99 plus birthdays. That means he's got over 100 people that have a birthday this week. So those are people you reach out to, because when you reach out to somebody, say happy birthday, guess what happens at their birthday? A lot of times they need more life insurance because they're getting older. And so like, if, Big Mike, he has a birthday. He's obviously thinking about it, so he gets more insurance. So this tab right here is amazing because it takes all of Joseph's 2,890 clients, which is almost impossible to comprehend in a bucket. It's like, who do I call? It takes it and lines it up and says, here's all of your premium if you want it, if you want to show it. So that's what I was telling you. Like in a year, you're going to have a Today tab. It'll tell you, hey, before the week starts, here's 20 people you need to call. This is just easy premium, easy premium. You've already done all the work to build the relationship. They like you. They know you. They've been paying for a year. So you have a current client that you can pick up something else real quick to start your week every week. All right, here's what I really want to show you. This is the part that's exciting. This is the newer part. All right, so there's a tab here for sales, and there's a tab here for team. He's got 23 items to do on his team tab. So he has 12 agents that have birthdays this week. So that means he could call up Mike and be like, Mike, happy birthday, man. And Mike's like, Joseph remembers my birthday? All right, here's the secret. Joseph didn't remember your birthday, but it told you right here. You know how when you have a birthday and all those people tell you happy birthday, and you're like, how did they know on Facebook that I had a birthday? Well, it told them. Now, it took me a bit to figure that out. I told my wife one day, it's like, I'm impressive. 52 people told me happy birthday on my birthday. Some of them I don't even know. She's like, Facebook is telling them. I'm like, loser. Why you got to say that to me? It tells them right here. All right, first deposit. So there's 3 people in your organization that got their first paycheck this week. So there's 3 people that just made money. Guess what happens when you make your first paycheck? You get really excited. So that's a perfect time that you should be talking to them about, all right, where are we going next? Where are we going to invest next? How do we double that money? If they made $500, Joseph can talk to them and show them how to make $1,000 tomorrow. But he has to know that they got their first paycheck. First fast-tracked agents. So people that have first fast-tracked somebody that he can reach out to. They're starting to build a team. Here's one that I really like. First override. That's a big one. So that's the first time they got some type of residual money that came in from somebody else. That messes with their mind. So here, let's see who it is. Anthony Zingerman down under Jake and Beret. So they hired Jerry. Jerry hired his daughter, Jera. Jera hired her cousin, Beret. And then Beret got her husband involved, Jake. And then Jake hired his buddy from college that lives on the East Coast because they live in Albuquerque from elementary school. That's right. He hadn't seen him in years from elementary school. That's Anthony. Anthony got excited, and he started making sales and making money. And then he started hiring people, and he is now making money because other people are making money in his organization. And because of the Today tab, Joseph knows that, so he can call Anthony to drive more depth, encourage more building, because he just knows. What Robbie and Andy have put together, they've made it possible for you to know what's going on quickly. So you can look and see, all right, here's my information. Here's what I need to know. There's a bunch of other tabs that you need to know about. If you go to My Business and My Dashboard, you can look up your sales for your hierarchy and your production. It puts a graph there. I look at it every morning for anybody that I'm talking with. You can look at money by direct leg, money agent list. I like to look at this one because then I could pull up Joseph's World, and you could see every person that's got $1 in Joseph's World this week. Now he's got a list of who he can talk to. What Robbie has created is the craziness of running your own business He's made a way for us to show you here's the highest value people that you could talk to in your business if you were interested. It's like my gym situation. If they can get me to go in the door, I got a much better shot of using the equipment. This gym, they're cool because on Monday nights they give free pizza and free barbecue. I don't know why. It's exact opposite of what they should be doing. But when they told me, when I was signing up and they told me, I was like, this is my kind of gym. I'm going to lose any weight here. But if they can get me in the door, when they sent me this app, it was really cool because if you're like me, you know, exercise is something I do because I have to, not because I want to. And so going in the door, then you see all this equipment, you're like, I don't know what to do. Well, they sent me this little app that tells me which ones to do based on what I want to do. Like if I want, I choose in and it says go to this machine. So I can walk in like a zombie and walk straight to my machine and get to work because I know what to do, even though I got all kinds of stuff around me. He's got 2,890 clients, 433 agents, 1,237 leads. You can imagine his mind is whirling. What do I do? Well, we have a Today tab. It lines up what you're supposed to do, which is amazing to me. And then I'll show you one more tab. This is my other favorite tab. Hierarchy production drawing. So you can see every person in his organization that's done premium. And then, it's going to take a while to load because, all right, we're in that. And then this button right here, there's a button right there. When it loads one day, you can click a button and it'll show you every Fast Track person in the recent period of time. And it's color-coded to let you know who's brand new, who just got a paycheck. It helps you see where the deepest person is so you know where to work. This is my opinion. One of the things that people like Riddle, Leventovich, and Albright are great at is they're great at choosing where to work. That's one of their secrets. One time, Andy went down to Florida. This was when we still lived in North Carolina. And I had the privilege of going with him, which meant I carried the bag, which I was excited to do. Because when you carry his bags, that means you go to some really cool places. And we ended up eating lunch with Urban Meyer, which surprised me. I don't know that Andy knew who he was. Because Andy was like, okay, we're eating with this guy named Urban. I was like, you mean like Meyer? He goes, yep. So I was like, okay. I don't even know how we ended up there, but he paid money to be. So in that, we also ate with John Maxwell, Henry Cloud on that trip. I mean, it was really interesting. Well, so we're sitting with Urban Meyer, and somebody asked him the question, what's the most important part of winning a national championship? And he said, he didn't say calling plays, he said choosing the right players. Because if I don't choose the right players, I don't have a chance of winning. And what that translated to me was choosing the right people to call and work with, which if you watch Albright, Riddle, Leventovich, Roberts, what they'll do is they choose the right places to cause the biggest growth. And you can watch their patterns. It'll show you where they're working while they're having growth. All right. So I have the privilege to bring up Andy next. So I just want to give you a heads up. I know the names of a lot of rich people, but I really only know one actual rich person that I could call and he'll answer the phone, which I think is crazy. You know, he's a multi, however many multis you want to say, millionaire who takes phone calls from brand new people in the business, which is insane to me. I worked at companies that were 1% the size of this, and I couldn't get the boss 2 up to talk to me. And then we're here, we got the guy who's basically running it all, and he'll take a phone call. Now, this is the crazier part. He has already done more for his family than I can even comprehend. But he's still traveling as if he hasn't. That's the part that's amazing to me. You see this island. This island is amazing. This island is beautiful. He has already bought over 25 properties on the island. Not to mention, he's got over 400 some properties in Burlington. Not to mention a Ferrari, a Lamborghini that's sitting at the office. We had a new employee that likes cars, and he was walking around and he found a Lamborghini. I think we forgot to tell him. He's like, hey, there's a Lamborghini downstairs. I said, oh, yeah, and a Ferrari's in the other room, and 2 jets. Now, it's just insane. But here's the coolest part. He has built a business that has brought all that to him and his family. But 2 things that he's done. One is he's created a platform where other people can do the same. Because that part's amazing. He didn't just build something for himself. He built something for us, which I think is amazing. And then the second part, he built something that has become massive, and he's still married to the same woman, and he still has his 2 kids that love him. Because that's hard to do. That's very hard to do. And so if you will, get on your feet. Help me welcome our CEO, the one that created this platform to show you how to move forward, Andy Albright.
Just don't get busted singing Christmas carols. That's us, that's right. Gotta love this American ride. Both ends of the ozone burning. Funny how the world keeps turning.
Billy, hook me up where I can draw on this, please, sir. Okay, so I was looking for somebody. What's your guy's name, Adam? Is it Devin?
What is that?
It's Hamchan? Yeah. How about Hamchan? That's your brother. He's not here. Okay. And then Justin Felix. He's what? He's what? Dialing. Okay. All right. So he had his first issue paid. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So, you know, I had breakfast with Jason and Tony this morning. I was talking about how I know stuff. And like a guy that cuts my hair, you know, I'm trying to tell him stuff. He don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? He knows more than I know. He's genius, you know. And I'm going like, you got a Ferrari? You know what I'm saying? Or like when you were 40 years old, did you give away $7 million? You know what I mean? Like I just and I agree. Money's not everything, Derek. I got that. But it's hard to be depressed when you're flying your jet with your son to go Ferrari shopping. I mean, you could be depressed before, but when you actually get on the plane, it's very difficult to be depressed. You know, it's not like I don't struggle with stuff in my head, which is bizarre to me that I do. I'm like, how is that possible that I would be upset? You know, one of my favorite stories of all time for you guys that have, you know, young, starting families and stuff. I learned this talking to rich people. I should say successful people. Stupid money, stupid families, stupid, you know what I mean, just